So we finally have it. 3 weeks into the new year, one standard week left in the month, Arc Raiders finally dropped its 2026 plans and content rollout roadmap, or part of it. This roadmap, entitled Escalation, is a rough Q1 preview showcasing what we can expect from now in January outwards of April, taking the next 3 months and a week extra here to give us a preview of what's to come. Today, we're taking a look at what the roadmap lays out, some interesting details we can pick up along from it, and everything you need to know to be ready for the next few months of Arc Raiders. Do me a favor as we go along, drop a like if you enjoyed the video, let me know what you're looking forward to, or perhaps maybe not, and make sure to subscribe for more Arc Raiders and other FPS content. Really excited for what this game has coming up this year, and I'd love to have you in the community with us for all of it. But anyways, let's get into it. So first, let's talk about the immediate future here. We do have some things still upcoming previewed in January, the Headwinds update here. This is something that details new matchmaking option for level 40 and up, new minor map condition, and player projects. One thing to note is the timing of this. Obviously, January is almost over, and even in the blog post associated with this roadmap, it said, keep a lookout, new content is just around the corner. So with, again, a week or so left on the month, a minor map condition, project, and matchmaking options should be all but guaranteed for this upcoming week. Now, what day of the week that could be, it could be something whenever the trials window ends, it could be a day following. We don't know exactly at the moment, but we will apparently have an update later this upcoming week that gives us a little bit more. Now, your minor map condition, this is something that, logically speaking, kind of points towards that toxic swamp condition that was, by early indications, something that was supposed to go live this week with the current set of trials, but doesn't seem to be the case. There was a different one swapped out for that, so not much is entirely known about that condition, but we'll see here soon enough if that is, one, what happens, and two, what that entails. One thing that is a little strange to me, though, is that the title for this update, Headwinds, is something that the February update, as we'll touch on in a second, the new map condition icon for that looks like it would be something wind-based, where Headwinds, you'd think it would tie in more properly, but we'll see if those are tethered together in any way, shape, or form. A player project is something we've seen before. This dealing with the collections that you see and gathering items for progressive rewards like the Expedition, and most recently, as a secondary item, the Flickering Flames Cold Snap project, where you had to gain access to specific items. So that seems to be coming as well with this update, but then the new matchmaking option of level 40 plus. There's honestly nothing about this that we know about at the moment. Something that you could probably throw a million guesses at the wall, but whether or not they stick, who knows? I do think it's important to note the distinction of option, not necessarily a rework on matchmaking from 40 onwards and how it's listed. My initial thought was that maybe this meant, oh, okay, they're gonna make things a little more chill for that 1 to 39 experience. Like, if you're a brand new player, it helps you to learn the ropes a bit more, but if you're somebody that did the Expedition, maybe it gives you a bit more lenience in how you want to play a bit more passively to get, I don't know, all your blueprints back or something like that. But with it being something that's optional, that, who knows? I suppose it is possible that it relates back to prior announcements of things like we're introducing tools for streamers to help mitigate stream sniping, that it offers some matchmaking capabilities like that, like maybe the ability to adjust a matchmaking delay or something like that for higher leveled players, but we don't know. I'm sure a lot of people would like this to be a PvE related thing to completely differentiate PvE versus PvP lobbies, but I personally don't think that will be what happens. But again, that's your January update, something that we should be seeing as of next week. February comes along with the Shrouded Sky update. This including a new map condition, new arc threat, player project, raider deck, map update, and expedition window. Now, the new map condition, again, as mentioned, that has a sort of windy icon here to it. Whether or not that ties back into the Headwinds minor map condition that leads to a major map condition, we don't know, but it will be something that a major map condition like that is something that will have the 2x modifier, things that we see as its own separate thing, and not just one of those ones that pops up like the uncovered caches or the harvester and matriarch events. This will have its own separate matchmaking option for whatever map it's cycling throughout that day. The new arc threat could be anything. We don't really have much that points to what this could be. A new player project, again, akin to what we just mentioned, things to collect, things to get rewards from, going into that projects tab. A new raider deck is one that will definitely be interesting as well, because this could be free, but it also could be paid. There's still a differential that we're waiting to see, or rather hear more about, because it was said before launch that we'd have throughout the life cycle of the game, both free and paid Raider decks, with the clear distinction, like we do have to be conscious that the paid deck would be purely cosmetic, whereas the two that we've seen already to date have been free and have had gameplay items in them, whether individually that you can unlock them or there were bundles of items together. So it honestly could be either. Right now, we just don't know. Nice part though is, again, these are not disappearing, so if you're still working on a past deck, you're still good to do so by the time this comes around next month. Probably the biggest thing here out of the February update that I am curious as to what it will entail is a map update. It doesn't say new map. That actually is not something we get until April here at this point, which is a discussion we can have once we get there, but a map update. What that entails, what that means, whether we're like expanding the boundaries of locations, we're getting more additional areas to specific maps, we don't know, but it's a very clear distinction of map update versus new map listed later on in that roadmap. So just bear that in mind. That doesn't seem like February will be a brand new map, but instead a rework of something here. And then finally, the expedition window for February, that's currently slated for the 22nd. This time around, the project is relatively easy to do. The only difference is in the first and the second is instead of Expedition 1 having cooling fans, it's cooling coils in Phase 2, sensors versus shredder gyros in Phase 3, and humidifiers as well as magnetic accelerators versus frequency modulation boxes and ion sputters from Stella Montis in particular in Phase 4. So yours may be different than some other player out there, but you do have to collect those items and then of course contribute things from your inventory for varying levels of cash to complete that expedition window. My only ask for devs is that whatever the criteria is for things like the skill points or any revisions that may be made, I just hope they announce them before the final 2 weeks of the season so that players can end up having more time to work towards that. Whether the cash for the skill points is still in place or the revisions are made for Expedition 2 or 3, it doesn't matter which, but I think the biggest problem is the skill points for cash that we had with the first expedition. There just wasn't a ton of time to collect that amount. 5 million isn't too tall a task when you have loot routes that you can grind out and tons of time to work with. We just didn't in that first expedition. But that window will be opening up at the end of the month, and that concludes the February content update that we have here for this. March is the Flashpoint update, where this will include a new map condition, new arc threat, player project, and scrappy update. Not to beat a dead horse too much because we already detailed those first three things and what they could be. A scrappy update, though, is also something that's interesting. Whether or not that's something that adjusts the amount of loot that it gives you per raid, whether it's something that adjusts the upgrade criteria so you're not just consistently doing the same thing over and over again, we don't know what that will entail, but something is going to be happening to Scrappy. And then finally, Riven Tides in April is going to be coming, which comes along with a new map, new large archetype, new map condition, and another expedition window. So the new map here is, of course, what probably a lot of people are waiting for. I am very intrigued by this because it seems like the reception is very split. The people that are diehard 24/7 playing this game all the time, they're like, okay, April feels a little late to have its first additional map beyond Stella Montis. So I guess second in general, that's a long time to wait. But at the same time, when I think you look at the rest of what we see going up to this point, when you consider a more casual player, somebody that is more newer to the experience, doesn't have 8 hours a day or something to spend on the game, isn't doing every single quest, every single expedition, getting every blueprint, there's still a lot of stuff to tie them over here to this that I definitely understand both sides of the coin. Would I personally enjoy this map being introduced in March, even February? Absolutely. But when I look at what is still planned here to keep the game fresh and to be something that they're trying to get the engagement up with a player up until that point, it's also something that I also was not expecting this much before our next new map. So I'm kind of on the fence here. I'm still in the camp of I'm still really enjoying this game, so it is what it is. I will say, though, one cool thing that looking at the image in the background of this kind of looks like that sort of multi-tiered like fortress map we saw concept art come out for recently. And that honestly looks like a really cool concept for a map that if that's what we end up getting, that'll be really cool. Now, new large archetype, well, that's something that's definitely interesting to consider because we have things like the emperors or the kings or things like that it could be one of those. We still have that sort of draft styled arc that we saw from earlier teasers and early development footage that has yet to come as well. That could be a part of it. A new map condition here for this kind of looks like it's going to be a larger storm based one based off the icon, but I mean, who knows? And then the expedition window, once again, just giving you more opportunities to reset and get more out of that. But across January, February, March, and April, we're going to see new quests, feats and trials and events, new gameplay items, new cosmetics, quality of life updates, and they listed and more. So Frankly, while some of the big stuff that you may have been hoping for next month may be a little bit further off on the horizon, honestly, these next 3 months in terms of content, there's a lot on deck that I'm quite looking forward to, and a lot of stuff that does keep you involved in coming back, whether in a more minor capacity or a major capacity. I think it really depends on what type of player you are, but a lot of stuff that we're going to learn about here in depth, a lot more very soon. But that said, I want to fill you guys in here on what is upcoming for Arc Raiders and the immediate future for what's on deck. We'd love to get your thoughts and feedback down below. What do you guys think of this roadmap so far? Are you liking what we see? Not so much? Drop your thoughts. But if you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. Of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so don't miss a single thing regarding all things Arc Raiders and even more FPS content I'd love to have in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.